Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy January 28th. Sports on YouTube, Todd Tondera with you as always. And I decided, I haven't decided. I've been busy with school and working at school, so I'm going to come to you live from the school parking lot. I'm braving the elements here in western Pennsylvania, but it's good to see you tuning in. And I love all the comments I get, and I appreciate, even the weird ones I get, which is always. But guess what time it is? Super Bowl time. I'm going to be talking all about the New England Patriots versus the New York Giants in this year's Super Bowl. I have a lot to get to. I just did a lot of researching, and I researched the stats and researched everything, and I'm not just going to give you the broad opinion of, I think the Patriots are going to win. This is why, undefeated. Now, let me get into the stats. The Patriots arrived in Arizona yesterday, had a bit of a press conference, and they talked about the biggest injury, non-injury maybe, of Super Bowl history. The Tom Brady, the foot cast, or whatever you want to call it, the foot, whatever. His ankle was sprained, and Coach Belichick was talking about, you'll see the injury report. Injury report's out. Guess what? Tom Brady is on that injury report, but guess what for? A right shoulder. He's listed as probable with a right shoulder injury, so that's a little, up yours to the NFL. I think the Patriots did by putting it as a right shoulder injury. There's a lot of injuries for the New York Giants, which is pretty much going to lose the game for him, I suppose. I mean, you don't hear about their injuries just because of, the whole Tom Brady thing, but Tom Brady and what he does. He's got Randy Moss, Dante Stallworth, he's got Ben Watson, he's got everybody, Lawrence Maroney. And guess what the Giants don't have this week? They don't have Kevin Dockery, questionable. Sam Madison, questionable. And Aaron Ross, shoulder, he's questionable. So it's the Super Bowl, and I expect all three, players to play because it's a Super Bowl. This reminds me of LT not, only getting a few snaps and losing, but I'm not even going to talk about that. That's neither here nor there. But guys, it's the playoffs. If you're going to play, this is the time to do it. So this hurts. I understand I'm not an athlete. I'm 6 foot, 138 pounds. I understand if I get hurt, I'm going to be hurt. But you're an athlete. You got to show your best. And it's a Super Bowl. This is what you got into football for. To play in this game, you got to show up no matter how hurt you are. Unless you got a broken leg like Jeremy Shockey. This, you got to play. So to the three defensive backs of the New York Giants, get on the field. I want to see you stop Tom Brady, but they're all questionable. And as well as Plaxico Burress, who's been nursing an ankle injury since the beginning of the year. I don't know how that works out, but he'll be playing there too. The injury list over there on New England, as I said, Tom Brady probable with a right shoulder injury. The only big other injury I see is Rodney Harrison. He's a safety back there, and he'll play. His thighs bother him a little bit, but you'll see him out on the field. So that's about the injuries, but the points scored in the NFL. Guess who's number one? New England Patriots. Surprised. Pass yards? New England Patriots, number one. And yards, offensive yards overall, they're first. So they're dominant. I mean, you've seen their record. They're undefeated. I'm not going to sit here and talk about da-da-da-da-da. This is why. It's on paper. Stats are on paper. You love them or hate them. They could play football. I think they're arrogant, and I don't like their coach, but I do believe he is a genius. He is. He does this all the time, and, it works out well. As for the New York Giants, they're 14th in points, 16th in yards, 21st in pass, and what stands out? They're 4th in rush. Basically, it's Bradshaw and Jacobs versus Faulk and Maroney. And I think Lawrence Maroney and Kevin Faulk are going to win that battle. And I don't think Kevin Faulk's all that talented. I think he's the least talented out of the four. But you know what? They have Moss and Welker and Watson and everybody else. So all the big playmakers, everybody's like, the ball's going to him, the ball's going to him. And it goes to Faulk. Faulk just gets into coverage because nobody needs to guard him. Turns out you do. So he gets a touchdown that way. that defense of the New York Giants, that line, I don't think they could hold Tom Brady, but you know what? If they get to Tom Brady early, he's going to whine like he always does. As incredible as an athlete as Tom Brady is, and I could go on and on about how good he is as a quarterback, as a team leader, as everything else. He sticks up for the guys. He's a whiner. And if the Giants could get to them and start making him whine, that's the only chance they have. But on a final note, go Giants and Eli Manning. You've won how many road games in a row, and you've shown you're a team leader. Are you that great of a quarterback? I still don't think so, but I think you can get it done. So my advice is to you, study their playbook, study their formations, and get it done. Well, this is me braving the weather of Western Pennsylvania outside. I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you after a Super Bowl, or maybe even before that. Who knows what time I have on my hands. Peace out.